it's Corrina, your virtual health coach, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today we're talking about one of my favorite topics, and that is chocolate. So I have a couple healthy desserts here for you, guilt-free ways to satisfy that chocolate craving. And before I get started here, if you want to chime in down in the comments and let me know what is your favorite candy bar, your favorite chocolate bar. I love making healthy versions of popular snack foods and junk foods. So let me know down in the comments and I will make a healthy version of whichever one gets the most requests. So what I made for today are these little chia seed pudding parfaits. So we have our cacao and chia seed pudding. This one is with blueberries and hemp seeds, and this one's with strawberry and little coconut flakes. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about how we can healthify our desserts. And one of the first things you should know is that choosing the healthiest form of chocolate is probably your first stop. So let's talk about cacao. So when you see the little CAO, cacao, that tells you that your cocoa is in its most natural and unprocessed state. And once you see cocoa on the label or cocoa processed with alkali, now we know that it's been processed and it's lost a lot of its health benefits. So when we're talking about this cacao, you have lots of antioxidants. That's part of what imparts the bitter flavor when we have cacao or dark chocolate. And those antioxidants, remember, help with anti-aging benefits. They neutralize those harmful free radicals. So we have lots of antioxidants, lots of different minerals like magnesium and copper, and we have some of those kind of bliss chemicals like anandamide and theobromine that kind of give us that mood and energy boost when we consume cacao. This video is sponsored in part by Cacao Bliss, and they're doing an awesome giveaway. If you head over to our Instagram, you can actually win a bag of Cacao Bliss. And I love this because it not only contains that raw ceremonial grade cacao, but it has a lot of other superfoods like turmeric, lucuma, mesquite, MCT oil. So it's really designed to help you satisfy your chocolate craving and give you lots of health benefits. So it's like a win, 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 win in my book. I absolutely love this stuff. And so I just want to show you a couple of little recipes that I like to make using Cacao Bliss, or if you don't have that, you could just use raw cacao powder. So step one, we want to be using some raw cacao so we get the most health benefits. And the next thing is to use some healthy fats and healthy protein with your dessert. So what that does is it slows the glycemic effect of whatever sweeteners you might be using. And if you're somebody who's following a ketogenic diet, then you're already really privy to this idea of adding fats to our meals. So it lowers the glycemic effect our dessert is gonna have. And some good examples of healthy fats that I like to use, first of all, are these little chia seeds. Chia seeds are fantastic, lots of omega-3s, lots of health benefits, and once you put them with some liquid, they kind of turn into a pudding. So that's what I have here in my parfait. I actually used this Planet Oat milk, but you of course could use regular milk. You could use almond milk. You could even use water if you wanted to. And then after you let your chia pudding sit for a minute, it'll kind of turn into this nice pudding consistency. And I've actually added some cacao and a little bit of vanilla extract and maple syrup into mine. It's what I have here. So chia seeds are a great example of a healthy fat. Another example would be hemp hearts. So hemp hearts not only have the healthy fats, they also give us some protein, which is another really helpful thing with lowering that glycemic effect. And they have a very subtle flavor. In my opinion, you hardly even notice that they're there. So I've kind of added them in here with the blueberries. Coconut is another great example of a healthy source of fat. So we've got shredded coconut here in the strawberry parfait. You can also use coconut milk. This is something that I always have on hand, either to use in my smoothies, or if you make nice cream with just frozen fruit in the blender and a little bit of coconut milk. It's just a good example of ways to add some healthy fats. And another great example is peanut butter, because who doesn't love chocolate peanut butter cups? So that's what is in this little ramekin here. You can't really see it, but I took my chocolate chia pudding, I added in a little bit of peanut butter, covered it with strawberries, and this is one of my favorite desserts. Another great thing about having these healthy fats and proteins in our dessert is that they're gonna contribute to satisfying hunger a little bit. So if you ever notice that you can sit down with a bag of sweets and just eat and eat and eat more than you ever thought that you would, it's that lack of fat, lack of fiber that tricks your brain into eating more than it actually needs to. And once we put those healthy foods into the foods that we're eating, they're gonna help fill us up and they're gonna prevent us from overindulging. All right, so let's switch gears a little bit. We talked about the benefits of healthy fats and proteins in our desserts, but what about sweeteners? So the first thing I want to mention is that the Cacao Bliss uses monk fruit as its sweetener. So monk fruit is a great kind of calorie-free sweetener that is becoming a lot easier to find these days. So I love that. And when I use the Cacao Bliss, I actually don't need to add any additional sweetener to it. I think it's really delicious as it is. But if you are gonna use a sweetener with your desserts, I encourage you to choose something natural. I say that all the time, sound like a broken record, but the point is, when you're having one of these natural sources of sweetness like honey, maple syrup, dates are another great example, then they actually have lots of health benefits on their own as well. These natural sweeteners are also a lot easier for your body to break down, and they don't give you nearly as big of a blood sugar spike as things like high fructose corn syrup and even regular table sugar that you're gonna find in all of your conventional desserts. Another great little secret for leveling up your homemade desserts is to use some vanilla extract. Really great way to add a lot of that kind of subtlety and flavor, but really does a lot to make your desserts taste more like what you might be used to eating. I also recommend using some cinnamon. Cinnamon has lots of benefits. It helps to regulate our blood sugar, so something that we definitely want to consider when we're making desserts. And another thing I love about the Cacao Bliss, it actually contains cinnamon. So lots of great benefits there. And I just want to show you now, one of my favorite tricks with the Cacao Bliss is how to turn it into chocolate syrup. And we're gonna actually dip some of our strawberries in this chocolate syrup. So have my little bowl here, just gonna take out about a little half a scoop of the Cacao Bliss here. Maybe a little bit more, because I am a bit of a cacao addict, I must tell you. Y'all probably couldn't tell that about me, but full disclosure. And then I'm just gonna take a little bit of this maple syrup. Again, we do have some sugar in maple syrup. It's not that there's no sugar, but it's a much healthier source of sugar. And we have lots of other health benefits involved too. So if you're using maple syrup instead of regular sugar, or instead of eating your normal high fructose corn syrupy desserts, then that is a huge step in the right direction. All right, so then we just keep stirring, and eventually it just turns into this beautiful little chocolate sauce. So if I was making some nice cream with bananas and strawberries and a little bit of coconut milk, I might drizzle some of my chocolate sauce over the top. Or one of my favorite things to do, especially for Valentine's Day, is just making this little awesome chocolate sauce and then dip those strawberries in there. So then if you wanted to get the regular kind of chocolate dipped strawberries effect, you could lay them out on a little dish and put them in the freezer for a while, and you will have perfect, amazing little chocolate dipped strawberries. I also have some little mint leaves here. If you are a fan of Andes mints, one of my favorite things, then I encourage you, actually get your fresh mint leaves. You can kind of chop them up real small. You can even put them maybe into one of the puddings or sprinkle the little mint leaves on top, but I love that combination of mint and chocolate. Definitely one of my favorite things. All right, so I hope that you enjoyed this little video, and I hope that I inspired you to play around with making your own healthy desserts. Remember, you can win a bag of Cacao Bliss by signing up over on our Instagram page, so go check it out. I always love hearing from you guys in the comments. If you want to let me know your favorite chocolate bar or your favorite dessert, I would love to make up a healthy recipe for you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope to see you in the very next video, and thank you so much for watching. Many of our subscribers don't see our videos. Make sure that you click the notification bell. And if you haven't already, follow us on social media for tips, tutorials, giveaways, and daily inspiration. Join us for 14 and 30-day programs, hour-long classes, and much more on our yoga app, Yoga Plus by PsycheTruth. It's free to download and features a variety of wellness content, including yoga, fitness, Pilates, guided meditations, and interviews with dozens of wellness experts. Start your 14-day free trial today by clicking the link below.